Right then, back onto the Mark 5 Golf, Mark 6 Golf, Mark 5.5, whatever people keep calling it. But anyway, so the last time we did a vlog on this, I believe it was before we'd even, or while we were at racing. There's not tons got done on it, to be fair. We've had a lot of little bits of stuff to do on it, but not a lot of time to do it. Everybody had a couple of weeks off over Christmas, so back at it in the new year. So you see we've got a bit of a colour match situation going on. Obviously the door's black because the grey one got smashed into. And it's ended up, the sill's been repaired. It's not completely done yet, and we were going to do a video on that, but it didn't quite work out how we planned. But we've ended up buying a pin puller, one of the Miracle pulls, and rather than putting a new sill in like we had to do it at Beaver, we've managed to manipulate that and pull that one back out. So next time we're doing a job like that, we'll make sure we record it, because we're going to try promoting what we're going to be doing with the body shop side of things. So the reason we put all the new panels on, there are a bit of damage like on the corner of the bonnet and stuff, which you can't really see while it's sat down there, but there are bits of damage here and there. But the idea is with these, we're going to get all the car wrapped in the new design, which we'll leave that until it's finished. But the idea with the old panels is to keep them as just spares. If we have a smash, put the spares on, rather than wrapping the old panels and having brand new ones that had never been fitted in the spares. We always like to fit the spares and put them back on the van, or fit them, leave them on, and leave the old stuff that's already got some paint on it, some stickers on it or whatever, just put them into the spares. And then worst case, if you smash front bumper off in qualifying, you can just put a bumper on that fits straight away and back out for the race. So that should work out all right. So all these panels came from Poland, so we'll put the link to the place where these come from, which I think it's already in the description of the car on the website. But we also ordered some doors, and they just did not fit. I think a 3-door Golf door would have fitted better on this than a 5-door Golf door would fit better than the ones that they'd supplied. And we've still not got a refund on them. They said just send them back, but they're 200 quid for shipping, so I'm not sending something back and paying 200 quid shipping. They can pay it. Their fault for not making a door that fits, which fiberglass, you'd expect it not to be perfect, don't get me wrong. But like these panels, there's going to be some questionable gaps, I'm pretty sure. But it's a fiberglass race car. It's not detrimental that it fits perfectly, but it also don't have a 2-inch gap and you have to duct tape door shut every time somebody gets in that, and it's just not going to work for what we want. So stick it to the steel doors, but we have been able to chop quite a bit of weight out of them, but definitely not as much as a fiberglass, and this did need to go on a bit of a diet, so we'll see what we can do. But these bumper, this bumper's a ABS plastic one. I think we've had a look at it before. This is just like a Golf R-Spec one. There is sort of a splitter that they use on the Castrol Cup cars, but we're not going to go for that. I'm going to get some cut out of Buffalo board, which is like what they make trailer boards out of, trailer floors out of, so like a waterproof marine ply with like a coating on it, so that's what like the touring cars and stuff have. So we'll get them sorted. Put the new toe eyes on as well. So it's pretty straightforward. So then Paul's just messing about with a tailgate now, trying to get the rain light to fit. That's happening. And we've also got this spoil, which I don't think I've ever showed anybody this. It's always been packed away. But this is basically just a carbon version of what normally comes on these cars when they're in the Castrol Cup. Quite light. We've added this little gurney on here as well. We've talked about gurneys in previous videos. They had an absolute ton of downforce for how much drag that they had. So if your spoiler ain't got a gurney, get one put on. You can make it out of plastic, make it out of alley. That's definitely as big as you'd want it to be. It doesn't need to be that big really. Could probably shave that down to half its size and it'd work, but it is what it is. So the only other thing that we've done since we last raced it, as you can see, we've still got tons of droop front and rear. That's because there's no shocks on the back. They're off at Bilstein to be shortened. And the front shocks, they're not the ones that we're running, because they're off at Bilstein just to get a slightly different bump stopper in there. We've got the front shocks set where we wanted them. The ride height, we've got it, it's very low now, we've got it exactly where we want it to be. The rear, we just need to limit the droop and we'll level it back out to where it should be. So it's pretty much, once the suspension's on, obviously we've got it wrapped and put all the bits on that we took off because we've wrapped it. There's not that much really to do with this to get it ready for racing this year. We've got a track day in 2 weeks, so we need to basically hurry up and get that sorted. So we're after the wrapping's done and we're doing some more interesting stuff when suspension's going back on, we'll do another video getting a bit in depth for what we've found, what we need to improve. But the only major thing we knew was wrong when we took it out last was the suspension. Obviously it had the rears on that were too long and the fronts on that were on it when we bought it. We sat on the rear bump stops pretty much all the time. I think we've got a couple of mil of travel on one side. So considering that, how well this handled, it should be a ton faster next year. So I keep saying next year, next season. So when that starts, when the testing starts for that, we should be able to make a big difference. So see how we get on. So they're here now, ready to wrap the car. Everything's getting cleaned off. Lee's finally sorted Sill out and got the side skirt on, and Gavin just stood straight in way, as I said it, but that's fair enough. We've got the spares as well, because we're going to wrap some of the spares. The bonnet's already done next door, so if we wanted to give you the teaser at colour, we could, but we're probably not going to. We'll just let you see the video as it unfolds. So hopefully, how long? All day? Or do you reckon you're going to get it done in half a day?
Yes, it will definitely be done.
At some point, it's going to be done. So we'll leave them to it. We've seen enough of this car already. Let's see it when it's finished and looking smart rather than Harlequin we've got going on at the minute. So it's a bit later than we planned to do this. Last thing on Saturday, and we're meant to be going to track tomorrow, so Danny wanted to finish this off on Monday, but we never know what's going to happen on a track day, so you're best off, while it still looks presentable, do this video. So as you can see, Gavin and his lads have knocked it out of the park with this one. Really, really happy. It's turned out exactly as Danny had designed it, and in real life it pops out a lot more than it ever did on computer, so really happy with that. I can't remember exact names at colours now, there's that many different names and what have you, but we'll put them in description anyway. But we tried to stick with our sort of red, grey and black theme, and trying to mix satins and metallics and mattes in there all together. So I think it looks good. So since the video, we managed to get Paul to get the spoiler on. That proved to be a bit of a pain because it wanted to be about this high when the brackets came as they were, but it's fine now. So we've got to keep it. It's got to be at the tip of this when it's at maximum. It's got to be sort of smack in line with the roof level, or no higher than the roof level. So that's worked out all right. And we can't be any wider than car as well, which we're well in that. So yeah, it's took a lot of work to get to where we are. There's been tons of faffing about with suspension. We've had to get the droop exactly right, we've had to get the corner weights exactly right, the rake right, so it's constantly just chasing it, and then we've had to put, because we put stiffer springs on, we've had to take a little bit of camber off, which has then pushed wheels out a little bit, so then we've had to drop them in. It's been a real pain to get what we wanted, but it's been worth it. Paul and Matt's worked hard to get all that sorted. Hopefully tomorrow everything on the V-box is going to be working together now, so the tyre temperature, tyre pressures and everything. So hopefully this is the end of this vlog. The next one that you'll see is this going round track, hopefully very quickly, and yeah, we'll see what happens, because I think last time we had it in, we turned it up from like the 240 horsepower it had before, which was like sort of class B power, up to like 280, which should put us firmly into class A now, maybe right at the top of class A. So we'll see, we'll do a bit more testing. We've got the dyno booked for in a few weeks time, the actual championship dyno, so then we'll know exactly how much power to weight we have, but they measure it at the wheels, and it's including driver for the power to weight, so it can be quite a complicated calculation when you get to it. So wish us luck for tomorrow.